The date is January 17th, 1991, the opening night of the Gulf War. The skies over Baghdad are the most heavily defended in the world, a dense web of radar and surface-to-air missiles, all waiting for the American attack they know is coming. The Iraqi operators stare at their screens. They see nothing. The sky is empty, and then the city erupts. Key government buildings, communication towers, and air defense command centers are ripped apart by impossibly precise explosions. It's a decapitation strike, delivered with pinpoint accuracy. But how? There were no planes. The radar screens were clear. They were being hunted by a ghost, a weapon so secret it had been flying for almost a decade without the world even knowing it existed. A jet with a bizarre alien shape that made it invisible. This is the story of the F-117 Nighthawk, the impossible jet that changed warfare forever. To understand how America built a ghost, we have to go back to the top-secret project that created it. In the 1970s, during the height of the Cold War, the Pentagon was facing a terrifying reality. Soviet air defenses were becoming impenetrable. A new generation of sophisticated radar and surface-to-air missiles, like the SA-6, had proven brutally effective against American jets during the wars. In Vietnam and the Middle East, the old way of war, flying high and fast, was no longer enough. The enemy could see you coming from hundreds of miles away. The mission was simple, but it seemed like science fiction. America needed to build an airplane that was invisible to radar. Not just less visible, but truly, operationally invisible. A stealth aircraft that could fly into the heart of enemy territory, strike its most valuable targets, and be gone without anyone ever knowing it was there. It was a demand that broke the known laws of aerodynamics and pushed engineers to the very edge of what was possible. The legendary Skunk Works, Lockheed's top-secret design group, took on this impossible mission. They knew that a traditional, curved airplane shape was like a mirror for radar waves, bouncing signals right back to the enemy. Their solution was radical, and it came not from an aeronautical engineer, but from a mathematician. The Nighthawk was not designed to be a good airplane. It was designed to be a bad radar target. Its bizarre shape was a collection of flat panels, precisely angled to scatter away 99% of all incoming radar signals, like a diamond deflecting light. Instead of a strong, clear signal returning to the enemy radar dish, all they got back was faint, meaningless noise, indistinguishable from a flock of birds or atmospheric clutter. The jet was coated in a special, top-secret radar-absorbent material, a black paint that literally soaked up radar energy like a sponge. To complete its ghost-like profile, the F-117 had to be a silent hunter. It had no radar of its own, because turning on a radar is like screaming your location in a dark room. Instead, it used a sophisticated infrared camera and a laser designator to find and paint its targets. The engines were a civilian model, chosen because they were quiet and had a low heat signature. Even the engine exhausts were flattened into wide, narrow slits, mixing the hot air with cold air to make them nearly invisible to heat-seeking missiles. There was just one problem. A shape that is perfect for defeating radar is a nightmare to actually fly. The F-117 was inherently unstable. It constantly wanted to flip out of the sky. No human pilot could react fast enough to control it. The only way it could fly was with a revolutionary new technology, a quadruple redundant digital fly-by-wire system. The pilot didn't fly the plane. They made suggestions to a computer, which then made thousands of tiny adjustments every second to keep the jet from tearing itself apart. The pilots, known as bandits, flew from a secret base in the Nevada desert, and only at night. They nicknamed the jet the Wobblin' Goblin for its strange, unstable handling. For years, the F-117 was a myth, a rumor among aviation circles. Then came the Gulf War. On that first night, the Nighthawks led the very first strike. They flew down the main boulevards of Baghdad, completely undetected, and delivered 2,000-pound laser-guided bombs directly through the front doors of Saddam Hussein's most important command centers. While the rest of the Allied Air Force had to deal with a massive electronic warfare and defense suppression campaign, the F-117s just slipped through the chaos like ghosts. They flew 1-300 sorties during the war and hit over 40% of the strategic targets, all without a single loss. They were untouchable. The F-117 proved decisively that stealth was the future of air combat. It single-handedly changed military doctrine forever. The age of seeing your enemy was over. The age of the invisible attack had begun. But the Nighthawk was a first-generation technology. Newer, more advanced stealth aircraft like the B-2 Spirit and the F-22 Raptor eventually made its specialized single-mission role obsolete. In 2008, after decades of secret service, the Legend was officially retired, its mission complete. The bandits flew their jets one last time to their final resting place, back in the Nevada desert where the story began. The F-117 taught the world. That invisibility was the ultimate weapon. But what about the ultimate defense? The story of the jet built not to hide, but to take incredible punishment and keep fighting, the A-10 Warthog, is a legend in its own right. If you want to hear the story of the flying gun, subscribe and let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching.